Anybody tell you you look like Ryan Reynolds?
No, no one has ever told me that. You are the first. How do you feel about male nudity? It's episode 4 of Q and Trey. I know it's a whole week late, all right? Last week was my birthday, and I was sick, and we did roll for songs. So, give me a break. That being said, I do intend to release these every Saturday at 11 a.m. Don't send a search party for me if it doesn't go up, but just letting you know that I'm gonna really try to do that. We've got a schedule. And keep those questions and comments coming, because the more popular this series gets, the more likely that we can get sponsors for it, and if we get sponsors for the series, then I will definitely not miss an upload.
Pan W12, you just yapped through the entire fucking guitar solo. Your reactions suck, and I'm never watching your channel again!
Bro, you clicked on a fucking reaction video, and then you were surprised when I reacted during the song? What the fuck is wrong with you? How could you possibly blame me for doing the thing that I said I was gonna do? It's the opposite of clickbait. I told you, I was so honest. I was like, reaction video. Click only if you desire reactions. And then I reacted. And this is how you reacted to me reacting? And now I'm reacting to that? It's a vicious cycle. If you want to listen to this guitar solo, go listen to the song. If you want to listen to the guitar solo, go listen to the song on Spotify. Go listen to it on Spotify. Buy the album. Listen to it on CD. Listen to it on vinyl. Purchase a vinyl and a record player. Listen to the vinyl and record player. Still hear the guitar solo. Don't go to a reaction video. Listen to the song.
My reactions are excellent.
Evans, Wisconsin. I've been a subscriber for a while, but haven't been familiar with the origins of the L count reference. What gives?
Well, Evans, that's a great question. Thank you for being a longtime subscriber, and for your question, I really appreciate both of them. So I think this was actually back when I was doing the original contest reactions, and I do this thing when I hear something that tweaks my ear. Something spicy. I make an ooh sound, and my former editor and very good friend of mine and former resident of this room, Isaac, he thought it was funny, and he was right, to make an owl go across the screen anytime I went, ooh, because it sounded like an owl saying, ooh. And so for the recent Ghost videos, I've sort of resurrected the owl and made him a little bit of a character in the videos, and it's really fun, and people seem to really like it. And then I've just been counting the number of owls that happen throughout the song.
Oh yeah? How about you show up your albums and your success?
This comment was left on a reaction that I did to the most recent Metallica album, 72 Seasons, a while back. And this is a common question that I get, right? What do I base my opinions on? How can I say negative things about people who are obviously way more successful than me as musicians? First of all, anyone can like or dislike music for whatever reasons they like, but the popularity of something obviously is not necessarily an indicator of quality. Obviously, artists who are very successful are doing something right. They've got something to offer the audience. Metallica is a legacy band. Whatever the next thing is that they put out, people are going to buy it and listen to it regardless of whether it's any good because of what they've put out in the past, which is, of course, tons of amazing stuff. I don't know if I've ever written anything as good as Master of Puppets, but I am always willing and able to put my money where my mouth is. I did a whole ass How Metallica Writes a Song video, and I wrote a whole Metallica song, more or less. And if the comments on that are any indication, a lot of people like it better than recent Metallica. But the fact is that neither that good reception to my Metallica song or my poor reception to Metallica's song or Metallica's continued commercial success are any indication of the song's quality. Those things don't make the song better or worse. What you're looking for is this external validation of the idea, some sort of absolute indicator of the quality. And the reason that people do that is to sort of validate their own taste, and that is really, really insecure. Anytime I do this type of analysis or reaction, I give my opinion of whether or not I like something, and then I back it up with a bunch of music stuff as to why. Just anything that I can objectively sort of point to. Even that doesn't mean that it's good or bad. We're talking about wiggly air, okay? Vibrations in oxygen. It's 100% subjective 100% of the time. But we can still sort of quantify a lot of it, and then we can figure out what we like and what we don't like, and what works and what doesn't work. And as artists, as musicians and songwriters, that's our currency. That's the part of it that actually matters.
How can you make tempo changes between sections that don't sound random? For example, a different tempo for the chorus and verse sections.
I guess today's the day that I'm asking you all the questions, but the question you want to ask yourself is, why do you want to do a tempo change? What is it about doing a tempo change that appeals to you? Are there any examples that you can think of where they do a tempo change and it works really well? Those definitely exist. They're out there. I've done them before in ways that I was really happy with. I did it on Featherweight and I was really stoked with how it came out. If you want to watch the part of the video, I'll put it right here, where I show you how I do that, and I do it in a way that's sort of gradual and a little sneaky and not so abrupt. There are pop songwriters who will increase or decrease the tempo of the chorus by like 2 or 3 BPM just to give it like a little extra something. But none of the advice that I can really give you is going to make any sense unless I understand why you want to do it. If you want to do it because prog, don't. If you're trying to do it to just be like more complex and like interesting and like crazy, it doesn't do anything except make it feel bad in my experience. But once you figure that out and you find some examples of where it's done really well, study how they did it. Did they drop the tempo right on the beat, on the one? Or did they do it a measure before? Did they do a gradual slowdown? Figure out what it is that you like about it and how they pull it off, and then try it in your own song. But just a real practical short answer, usually when I do it, I don't just do an abrupt change right on the downbeat on the one. I'll split the difference like a measure or two beforehand. If I'm trying to go down 20 BPM, I'll go down 10 BPM and then 10 BPM more, a measure later.
Xenon Vince, week 3 of asking, how do I get unbanned on our guitar?
Well, Vince, real quick, I'm gonna Uno reverse you on this. This is Q and Vince right now. Number one, what makes you think that I have any idea how to do that? I spend very little time on Reddit. Number two, what did you do? What did you do, bro, to get banned on our guitar? Number three, who cares? Don't go on forums. It's way better for your life to be banned on our guitar. You're free. Number four, how do I get banned on our guitar? Because I don't want to be there.
Robbie Fitzgerald, I'm writing another comment for a question. How does a singer decide when what parts of a song to harmonize? Do they tend to have a natural instinct, or do they try different lines, words until it sounds good?
This is a great question, Robbie. For me, as both a singer and a songwriter, and sort of also a producer, like who has to be like sort of big brain thinking about the big picture, I look at harmonies as like a dynamic tool, just like, you know, adding a different instrument or cranking up the distortion or changing the power hand on the drums. I'm targeting important moments that feel like they need some kind of highlighting. I look at harmonizing like it's a highlighter. If you're taking notes in a book or something, you're underlining something that's happening. So like an important lyric, a part of the song that needs a little oomph, a little kick in the pants. Just a moment that I want to stand out more and be more exciting. Here's a good example of like an important line. In Virtue song Scream, which I'll put right here, in the second verse, there's a line where I say, "You whispered the words." And in the context of the song and the story, that's very important. And in that moment, I added a high and a low octave, I think. I had to go up really high to sing the high octave. Everyone agreed, producers, bandmates, everybody, that it elevated the moment and that it made it really exciting. So for me, I'm like 50-50 strategy and instinct about it. But the main thing to know is that it will elevate dynamically whatever part of the song you're harmonizing.
Omniflash 2065. I've been enjoying these ghost reactions, even if they're not the normal type of content on this channel, and they kind of make me want to pick up the guitar again. Cheers, good work.
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying them. And here's the thing. When I decided I was going to do the whole Ghost album, I had this like whole preface and I was like, look, I'm going to do these, but this is not what my channel is. It's not reactions. I'm not a reactor. Okay, I don't want people calling me a reaction channel. And I still don't want that. But I've kind of found like a pretty cool groove with it where what I'm doing isn't just reactions. I'm not just, wow, I'm not just the proxy for the experience of the viewer. I'm providing song breakdowns and analysis and songwriting tools, and it's really fun. And also, I'm learning a ton from doing these. Like, I'm learning real cool songwriting tricks, and I'm thinking about doing some more of them, albeit not a whole ass album, but maybe like one a week or something, 2 a month maybe. Also, because of these ghost reactions, I have gotten like triple the amount of views that I usually get and like 5 times as many new subscribers as I do in a typical month. So like, there's obviously something to it. What was I saying earlier? Just because something is popular doesn't mean it's good. But it's also really nice because I can bang them out a lot faster than a whole ass video where I'm writing a whole song and like it takes a month or 2 or 7. I am absolutely not going to stop doing those high effort types of videos, but reactions are fun, comparatively very easy, and people seem to really like them. So I'm doing them my way, so we'll see what happens.
Seth Sterner. I've been saying since Peacefield came out that it isn't separate ways. ... But yeah, even I have to admit, I've just been proven wrong. Booyakasha! Peacefield is still a slammer, and I can't wait to hear them open the show with it in August.
I feel pretty good about that. Only because people saying that they didn't hear it at all made me feel like I was taking crazy pills. Is this the owl from the Owl Count? Who let you out of your cage?
Legend 53 Beast 63. Bro, you're really milking this album.
Listen, Owl, I understand that I've been doing a lot of these and you're doing a lot of work just flying back and forth. But you're getting overtime in mice as agreed to in our contract. And you can't get milk from a ghost. Believe me, I've tried. Also, I did say that I was going to do the whole album, and there's only 2 songs left, so the milk's run dry. And now for this week's Duality of Man.
Claw TB5GG. I love Ghost to pieces, itty bitty pieces. Like, they're one of my favorite bands. And Peacefield is a total ripoff, lol. Warsaw 666, the most overrated band. The only cool thing is their image. The music doesn't fit their image.
I hear this a lot, and it's always from metalheads who like saw what Ghost looked like, and they were like, oh, this is gonna be like some sick black metal, bro. And then they clicked on it, and they heard Blue Oyster Cult and Scooby-Doo Chase music, and then they were disappointed, instead of just like enjoying them for what they were. Also worth noting that they dress like Catholic clergy, so I don't know why you'd be expecting anything other than like Catholic choir music and monk chants. And also, if you're basing your opinion of a band on their image, you're a fucking shallow idiot. Are you listening to the music or are you looking at it? I think that the presentation of your music is extremely important, and having some kind of a cohesive image is really, really good for branding. And like, it doesn't seem to be bothering the many, many, many millions of people who love their music. They literally had the #1 Billboard album last week, 2 weeks ago, which, as we discussed earlier, doesn't make it good, but that aspect of it obviously is not prohibitive for the vast majority of people. In fact, they seem to really like it. I personally love a good contrast. For example, I play metal music and I have pink lights in the background. So I guess this week's Duality of Man is about the duality of man.
Scott Christ 0070. If he lost 50 pounds, he couldn't call himself Fluff anymore.
God damn. Fuck! Got him. You got me, bro. So last week I asked you in the queue for your A what the hardest part of writing a song was for you, and I got some really good answers. Misfit Wookie 3177. Lyric writing, not gonna lie. I have a diverse vocabulary, great thoughts, but every time I write, it seems to end up sounding cliche-laden and like I swallowed a rhyming dictionary and thesaurus simultaneously, and they both want to come out at the same time. A lot of people have a hard time with writing lyrics, even if they have a really big vocabulary, and I'm one of them, to be honest. Like, I know tons of words, and I have this problem where I know that there's a word that means exactly what I'm trying to say in a very specific way, and I can't remember it. So I make frequent use of the thesaurus, and honestly, there's just nothing for it. You just got to keep doing it over and over and over again. Cool winter. The hardest part? Finishing. 10 years of unfinished songs. Very common, very common. I'm working on a way to help with that, all right? Jeremy, for me, the hardest part of making music is all the performance aspects. I'm a very remedial guitar player. I have a questionable pitch and poor vocal control, and because I've never learned songs or practiced scales, etc., I don't have a vocabulary of licks and progressions in my head. To me, that's about the craft part. Anything like making music is both an art and a craft. The art is like what you're trying to say, and the craft is how you say it, and it's the sort of presentation, the packaging, the actual language that you use to get the point across. And just like practicing an instrument without some kind of real direction can be very soul crushing. But this is why you front load it and start as early as you can on an instrument. I'm lucky that I did that reasonably early on. If you look at it like that, you're never gonna get anywhere with it, right? You don't just be like,
I have to practice. I have to spend 8 hours in the woodshed learning scales.
Like, I practice guitar while I watch TV, but really diving into learning an instrument and learning a bunch of songs is really enjoyable. And actually, I miss that a lot. I miss that part.
Gods and Animals Band. Writing vocal melodies and lyrics is the biggest challenge. Getting the words to fit a melody, a cadence, and vice versa can be quite difficult. And sometimes you have to strip down certain words to make more basic alternatives for them to work.
Killing your darlings is extremely difficult, and having somebody else to help you with that and be like, do you really need this word in there? Or is there a better way to say this thing that you're saying? And just like trying a different version of it. You don't have to delete the other one. Just try a different version, record it, and test it out. I have found that I'll do that, and then I go like, why did I think this other one was better? This is clearly the thing to do. And this has been with like real producers. I've had a couple real producers be like, why would you say it like that? Like, why are you trying to cram all those words in, bro? And they just chop a couple out, and at first I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then I do it, and like 3 takes in, I'm like, why was I trying to do it this other stupid way?
Eric Olsen 326. My biggest stumbling block is drum programming. I grew up step pattern writing on Yamaha and Boss drum machines and would kill for a desktop app that mimics those interfaces.
I have done that kind of step input drum programming, and I fucking hated it. I mean, I guess if you're used to it and that's what you want, then you should do it. But I do think that most MIDI sequencers within like Pro Tools and whatever DAW have a step input option. I would look for that. Uric James 7316. Hardest part of writing for me is actually getting the balls to write something personal and meaningful. Every time I start writing lyrics that actually feel like they have some sort of deep-rooted connection to me, that page gets deleted because damn internet trolls might roast it. I'm fine with being criticized for something that's disconnected from myself, but that weird mental barrier for personal stuff has always been there. That sucks to hear. That sucks to hear that your perceived judgment from others is stopping you from doing the thing that art is for, which is to express yourself. What I'm hearing is that you're embarrassed of yourself and you're really guarded in putting out anything about yourself for fear of being vulnerable and being ridiculed for who you are and saying something that matters about yourself. You say, I'm fine with being criticized for something that's disconnected from myself. But then what are you writing your songs about? If it's not you, then like, why even bother? I don't understand. This is your opportunity to say something so important and meaningful, and you're not going to do it because some piece of shit on the internet is going to make fun of you? They're definitely going to. I'm not saying that people won't, but it doesn't matter. They don't fucking matter. You will never be the artist that you want to be and that you're capable of until you get past this. And I want to help you with that. So today, Uric James, I am going to award you the prize because I can't let this happen to you. And I'm going to give you a copy of my course, How to Actually Write Lyrics, because this is what's going to help you more than anything else. It's going to partly be expressing yourself in a way that nobody can cringe at, that nobody can make fun of you for, because it's going to hit them so hard that rather than making fun of you, they're going to be crying themselves because they felt the same thing. Making music, making art is about connecting with people who feel the same way. It's like holding up this feeling and other people look at it and they go, oh my God, I felt that same thing. And that's the whole point. You have to get to the point where you can do this. So congratulations on winning my course, How to Actually Write Lyrics. I really hope that it helps you with that. Send me a DM on Discord or Instagram and I'll get you hooked up with that. So in case you have no idea what just happened, every week I pick one comment to give away a prize to. And last week I said it was going to be my course, How to Actually Write Lyrics, which you can find a link to and a special discount in the description. And on that note, next week's winner is going to get a different course of mine, which is called Making Symphonic Metal with Free VSTs. Link in the description, where there will also be a very special discount code for you. And that brings us to this week's Q for Your A, where I ask you a question, and that's this. What is the easiest part of music making for you? What's the part that comes to you the most effortlessly? For me, it might be writing bridges. I don't really know why, but of all the things that I do, I'm kind of the king of bridges. They always come so naturally to me, and whenever somebody says they love a part of my song, it's always the bridge. So leave your answer in the comments section for me, as well as your questions for me for next week. I wanted to make it clear that you can leave as many comments as you want, and actually, kind of the more the better, because it looks like engagement to the algorithm. But just don't feel like you only have to leave one comment. You can leave a comment in the form of an answer to the Q for Your A, and then you can also ask a question. You could ask a couple questions if you want. Of course, there's no guarantee that I'm going to respond to all or any of them, but shoot your shot. That's it for this episode, Gong Gang. Be sure to leave all your questions and comments in the comments section, because I'm going to pick one of them next week to win my course, Making Symphonic Metal with Free VSTs, which of course you can also find at the link in the description. Stay squishy, and I'll see you real soon.